Hello everyone and welcome to our grand final edition of It Goes Off. The Perth Wildcats and the New Zealand Breakers, they've been the form teams all season long and probably justifiably Lanard, they are in the grand final series. It's going to be a huge show today. We're also out on location at the home of Spalding here in Melbourne. This is Spalding being one of the major sponsors of the iNet NBL. Terrific game ball they do have.
That's right. Never let it be said that the NBL does not take us anywhere.
They have taken us all the way out to Scoresby. One of those ones, if you're in the centre of Melbourne, you drive out to Scoresby, and when you think you've gone too far, you need to go about 10 minutes further. But it's a beautiful facility they've got out here, and thanks for Spalding to allow us to come into their premises and shoot this show. Exciting times now upon us with the Best of Three Challenge starting this Thursday in New Zealand.
It is. The Breakers against the Wildcats, and I think this is probably the grand final series that most people thought would happen from day one of the season. Two best teams all season long. Had a couple of little highs and lows, probably Perth more than New Zealand with a couple of dips, but they're both in. Not without scares through the semi-final.
Not without some very, very anxious moments. And we have got a huge show today. We are going to absolutely go completely and totally off on It Goes Off because we've got a cast of thousands of some of the greats, the all-time greats of the past and of the future and of the present. No, Timbo Maddock's not here, but I speak of Wade Helliwell, Jamar Wilson, and one of the all-time greats, a former grand final MVP in Lanard, Copeland, joining us in the studio here today. And we're coming, of course... All right, we'll give him a little clap, but that's enough.
Actually, are you sure that's Lanard Copeland?
That is Lanard Copeland.
Because I could have sworn it was Ray John Rondo.
Ray John Rondo, and you did right. Let's have a look at this little split vision we've got going on here. And you definitely can see the similarities, Grantley. Ray John Rondo and Lanard Copeland.
Not to be confused with Sammy Davis Jr.
Sammy Davis Jr. is another one in there. And Jamar Wilson from the Cairns Taipans. Before we start, we say congratulations on a very, very good season. MVP candidate, MVP type season. But the good news for the Cairns Taipans is that you've decided to stay on board and you've signed up for another 2 seasons.
Yes, exciting.
It is exciting times, and living in Cairns, you're from New York, I'd say that there's a pretty big difference between Cairns and New York. How's it been?
It's been great. The weather's been great. It's a bit remote compared to New York, but I get the best of both worlds, summer all year round, so I can't beat it.
Traffic very similar.
A lot of differences there, and perhaps some of the stuff you see going on the sidewalk, a little bit different to what you would see in New York, I'm sure.
For sure.
But great to have you on the show. And Wade Helliwell, and we're about to drop a bit of a bombshell here because I wasn't aware of it. It's a bombshell to me. But Wade Helliwell today, thanks for coming along. But you've announced your retirement from basketball and, of course, the Adelaide 36ers. That must have been a tough decision to come to.
Yeah, not too tough. It was long sort of year. Achilles injury that carried throughout the year and wasn't really able to do the work on the practice court as well as get out there just for the games, try and get up. So it was a tough year, and I figured I don't want to grind it to the bone, so we'll leave it there, I think.
A lot of, I guess, local fans would have only caught glimpses of you in the NBL over the years because you spent most of your basketball career in Europe. And, you know, not many people from Australia can say that they've spent most of their career in Europe. What did you play, 7, 8 years maybe in Europe?
Yeah, it was around about 7.5. Left halfway through the year up in Brisbane. Played 3 years up there before I took off, and then the bulk of my career in Italy, which was a great time, best part of my life, pretty much.
Fantastic work, and congratulations, I think, on behalf of the entire basketball community on great work you've done over the years. Spent a little bit of time with the Boomers, as Grantley mentioned, some represented Australia with distinction on the international stage, playing over there in Europe. So well done, Wade Helliwell.
I will say one thing about Wade that probably speaks volumes about him as a person more so than a basketballer.
Please.
And that was when Brian Goorjian was coach of the Boomers. And, you know, he was kind of getting low on big men, and no disrespect to Wade, but he called him. He was in Europe at the time. He called him. He said, I need you. I need someone to help me out for this series tournament. And Wade's response was, when you want me, I'll be there. Never any problem. He was honoured to represent Australia. Always did his best.
Fantastic stuff, which is not always the case in this day and age, not just in basketball, but all
like
sports.
you
But
when you would.
no, I was showing up when I could. Fellas, I think we need to make sure that we have a look at the semi-final series because, like you mentioned, Grantley, there were some very, very anxious moments for the New Zealand Breakers and the Perth Wildcats losing a game throughout that series. They both went the distance, but. Lanard, let's start with you. The semi-final series, we all expected the two to get there, but New Zealand losing at home for only the second time in front of 9,500 people was a big surprise.
Massive surprise. Look, New Zealand, you know how tough it is to go to New Zealand and play, but to have 9,000 people screaming and yelling, it's tough. When you lose one, perhaps you got them back on track, and I'm looking forward to them winning the championship.
Jamar, you played against both these teams. The semi-final series, is it what you expected to go the distance? So I certainly thought the New Zealand Breakers would win it in straight sets, but to the Townsville Crocs' credit, they did a great job.
Well, they played well. They did well, like Cope said when they flew out there for the first game. But I think New Zealand been pretty consistent this year, and I was pretty confident that they would sweep the series. But as much as I don't like the Crocs, I want to give them credit. They played well, and it was unfortunate they didn't get the last game, but it was a good series to watch.
It wasn't like the Crocs just fell over the line in Auckland either. 99-82 in game one before New Zealand came back, 94-83 and 97-80. They rested a lot of their roster for the last game of the season. Wade, are you in the camp that you take a little rest before the playoffs, or you just play out the string and be as good as you can?
I don't know, I guess it's specific to each player, depending on how their body is at the time and also the type of player they are. For me, I'm one that, you want rhythm, you want flow, and I'd play straight through. I wouldn't be missing games for anything. And
the Perth series was another one that went down to the wire in the sense that went to 3 games. In game 3, you always felt Perth were going to get over the line against the Gold Coast Blaze. But Lanard, what did you make of that series? The Perth Wildcats, to me, seem like they've worked their season along nicely and are playing some very good basketball at the right time of the year.
Well, they've been tough the whole year. They got a group of guards that come in and just attack you. They play strong defense, and they've been like that the entire year. So, like Grantley said earlier, those two teams, Perth and New Zealand, were the two teams that we're going to pick, and that's where they are now.
You know what you just said was wasted on him, don't you?
What's that?
Guards coming in playing good, strong defense.
Oh, yeah. Drew's never played in his life, ever.
They're just trying to perpetuate a myth here, Jamar. I was down in the stands many, many times. But defense is key throughout the series, and it's going to be key in the grand final series. Jamar, who do you like the best defensively? We know that, like the guys mentioned with the Wildcats, that they've got those scrappy point guards, but do you think defensively, who would you pick as having the best options?
I would say Perth. They definitely have that chemistry. It's actually good to see both of them in the grand final. They're I would say both of the deepest teams in the league. So to go over a series, I think it'll be a good fight. But I think Perth is pretty good stacked defensively, especially at the guard position.
Perth is obviously got good guards with Lish and Martin and Robbins. But if you say one thing about the Wildcats, it's their bigs. So Neville, etc. How do you see the Perth bigs against the New Zealand bigs, Wade?
Well, I think that Big Lukey can be a factor if he gets angry and plays.
Lukey Neville
plays tough.
Does he get angry?
Well, I've seen him angry, mate, and if you can get him angry, it takes. I don't know what it takes actually, but if you can get him angry, he can be a beast down low. So I think if Perth can get that part out of him, New Zealand, that's probably that can be a factor. New Zealand, they got big pleasure over there, I think he could make a difference.
And Kevin Lish is another one, league MVP, but he's going to have his work cut out going up against Jackson from the Breakers, who has been a sensation with the way in which he's led the team, he's distributed the ball. Where do you see it between those two? Because I reckon when you break it down, both those two guys need to play well for their teams to win. Where do you see it, Coach?
Well, you're looking at an offensive team and a defensive team. It's obvious that Perth are a defensive team, and New Zealand love to shoot the ball. Me personally, I'm an offensive man. I like to shoot it, so I'm going with New Zealand.
You're going with it, but in that guard spot, do you think Kevin Lish, because he is a bit more, he can shoot the ball a little bit better than Cedric. So It's
Can he defend Cedric though?
that's the key. How do you see that matchup?
It's just hard because at this stage, I think defense wins games, and
not in this country.
yeah, I guess so. But I mean, playing against Perth, man.
Get it up, son.
Get it up. Robo and Martin at him. He won't have to go.
No, that's true.
They're dogs.
But he has been.
No, I mean dogs in a sense of like they're after you. They're sent on you to hound you the whole game. So.
The dogs.
That'll come out, right?
I think if you're going to talk
Good luck for
guards,
2 more years in the league, mate.
you're going to talk guards and you want to talk scoring guards. There's one in New Zealand that has probably been overlooked all year, and he could be the X factor in this grand final series. CJ Bruton.
Yep.
And
he came out he had 7 points in game 1, but then he had 18 and 20 in games 2 and 3.
More experience than anyone on that team.
That tells you what he can bring to the table, and that's a big X factor for him.
And let's not forget Daryl Coletto as well, who come in and knock down the 3 as well. So
they did. They all did. And it's almost like with CJ Bruton that it's gone exactly according to the script. This is what he's getting paid for, really. They nursed him through the season, and they got through, kept him in shape. But now it's time to step up. He is stepping up big time. Now, Jamar, you probably haven't had the opportunity to play against CJ at his absolute very best.
CJ. Yeah, the real CJ.
But, he can knock down the long ball in these big games. He steps up, and you need those sort of players in a pressure cooker environment like the grand final.
Yeah, especially. I mean, he seems like a closer. He's done it last year, and from what I've heard, he's been pretty solid and has always been the guy that hit tough shots. And watching some of the shots he's been hitting that last series was pretty amazing. So it's good to watch. And for him to be so effective at his age shows a lot as well.
Yes, well, it promises to be an unbelievable final series, and we'll touch on that a little bit later, and we'll try and break it down with our experts on hand here today. But just going back over the course of the season and some of the goings on, Shane Heal came in as the head coach of the Sydney Kings with 6 games remaining, I think it was, and he went 3-3. He's now been reappointed for the next 2 seasons with the Sydney Kings. Copes, what do you make of that appointment?
He's a pretty good fit for the Sydney Kings. He's won a championship there, and like you said, he went 3-3. And he's looking for a job, and he fit the spot. So good luck to him.
And Jamar, I'm not sure if you know a lot about Shane Heal and what he's been able to do, but the Sydney Kings, they put on a great show and a fantastic atmosphere. The fans came out there, and I don't like the way you're shaking your head there. You're not a big Sydney Kings fan.
Well, I'm a fan of Shane, obviously, because I heard so much about him. But they did come and beat us home on our floor, and they kicked us out of the playoffs. So I'm still a bit bitter about that, but good luck to them, and it'll be good, I guess, having them around.
Yeah, well, it's a great signing. It's great for the promotion of the league. Have a profile guy like that back in the competition. So congratulations to Shane Heal. One of the other things we want to get your opinion on, and we'll start off with you, Wade, is that a lot of talk about the All-Star game being reintroduced next season. They had a poll on the NBL website, and there was overwhelming support for the All-Star game concept. Are you a fan of it, or do you think we should keep it shelved?
Well, it doesn't bother me. Make him play. Make him play. Give the fans something to come see.
There you go.
But do you like the concept? Do you think the concept would be?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, stuff like that is what fans want to see. They want to see the best players out there, and if they get to see them all at one time, bit of promotion around it, I think it's a good thing.
Jamar, do you think the players would support a concept of an All-Star game? I know it's a long season, and it sometimes can be a challenge, but what from a player's point of view?
I think it's good. I think obviously this season here is grueling, and to be able to take back and relax and actually enjoy a weekend, if you're playing or you're not playing, is always good to be able to just kind of wind down, especially during a huge season. So
I want to see what Flip and Copes,
Sammy,
Flip and Sammy, think about my idea for the All-Star game.
What's your idea?
Which is we're just going to pick the 20 best players, then we have the 2 coaches. And an hour before tip-off, schoolyard. I want you.
I think that's absolute crap.
Come on!
No, well, like I said,
what great television.
Come on,
what
Brandon.
are you the last pick? No one likes to be the last pick.
But you're not the last pick because you're actually in the game. It's someone that's not at the game is the last pick.
Well,
you can tell a guy who's played and a guy who's never played. Just stay over there, man. Don't worry about that. Let us do this. All right?
Copes, but some sort of reserved opinion on the All-Star game.
I think Flip likes it.
Well, Flip's sort of he's neutral. He's fairly neutral. But All-Star game, Copes, what's your?
Yeah, look, it's a great concept. All you have to do is look at the NBA to see that people love to watch things like that. So why not bring it back? I mean, I've obviously played in 4 or 5 myself and been very good. So, it's a good concept. Bring it back.
The games were very good, or you were
I was very good.
You were very good.
And one of the other things that was in the news last week, Grantley, is that the Melbourne Tigers have announced that Chris Anstey is going to assume a role, a coaching director, player personnel type role.
It's almost like an NBA GM's role.
It seems that way until it unfolds and we get a little bit more detail. But for the Melbourne Tigers to have one of their iconic players back in the fold has got to be a good thing. And it's usually it's one of those positions with the budgets of teams. Can be seen as being a little bit extravagant, but it's great for the Melbourne Tigers.
Let's cut to the chase.
Speak on it.
Is he there to make a decision on Trevor Gleeson?
Well, that's been the rumour mill, but Trevor Gleeson's still got 2 more years to run. So
is he there to make a decision on that?
No, I think he's there to provide support for Trevor Gleeson.
Off the bench, Joey.
I'm off the fence. I think he's there to give him support and help with the decision making that's going there, and be that conduit between ownership and the team.
Let's get you right off the fence.
Please.
Were you sounded out, A, about that role, B, about the head coaching job?
No, I was sounded out about the club and asked about opinions of the club and the direction they're taking with management and those types of things. But
so they didn't offer you enough money?
No, not at all. That's not the issue at all, Grantley. But I think it's fantastic that to Chris Anstey to be back in the sport.
I think it's a good role.
It's all a very good thing.
If it helps the Tigers, it's a good role. Yeah, anything to help the Tigers.
You missed out too?
Yep.
Now, before we move on, Grantley, there's some exciting news. You were there at the announcement of the All-Star game, the gala spectacular we had at the Crown Casino where the MVP was announced. Other great news on an international scene is that we're going to have a farewell series. The Olympic Games is coming up in a little over 100 days, if you don't mind, so it snuck up on us pretty quickly. And the Australian team are going to be taking on Greece in June. So
that's the Boomers.
The Australian
Boomers against Greece, Opals against Brazil.
Correct, and they're going to be playing in around 3 games each around Victoria. So it's going to be a fantastic way to send off our team to the Olympics. Go onto the website, the NBL website or Basketball Australia website for all the details. But this is a great initiative.
Oh, look, I think bringing Greece, the Greek men's team out here to play is huge. People, non-basketball people don't understand how big basketball is in Greece. It's massive. Wade's been there, he's played there. He'll tell you what it's like. You've been there and played.
I have. Fanatical.
A long time ago. They still had a lace in the ball.
Fanatical.
But it is big, all right? It's massive. But to bring the Greek team out here, that is... You can talk about your dream team and USA teams, but this is right there on the next, just on the next level.
The Opals, as you mentioned, are going to be running around, so please get on the website and go purchase some tickets because it's going to be an absolute fantastic series. Now, we're about to get stuck into the 24-second shot challenge, and we've got a star-studded lineup here, so we thought we'd get out there and see if we just throw up a few. But before we do that, we just got to make a quick mention because Lucas Walker wanted to be here on the panel today.
Who didn't?
Primarily
Who did not
because
want to be on the panel today?
Primarily wanted to be in there to come in and spruik up his. Yes, you wanted to be here. You had to beg to come on the show. You were there, Coach. Don't lie. But Lucas Walker couldn't make it, but he wanted to come on board because he has been nominated in the Clio Bachelor of the Year Awards. Now, have a look at some of the photos in the latest edition of Clio. There he is, very, very sexy unit, and shines up very well, doesn't he? He's just been in the gym. Look at him, Grantley. Doesn't he look fantastic?
You're blushing. You okay?
No, he's a powerful, strong unit, and
not that there's anything wrong with that.
And
no, there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just asking.
I think I haven't read the article cover to cover, but I think he's in the top 50.
Sure you have.
I haven't read it cover to cover, and I think they're down to the top 50.
He doesn't get Clio for the articles.
That's right.
He's just looking at the pictures.
No, well, I just want to reinforce the fact that back in the early 90s, late 80s, I was in there and made it to the top final 10. I was in the final 10, Grantley, so still a bit of work to done. But jump on the
black and white photos.
Jump on the Clio website because basketball fans, he needs your help. Get out there and give him a vote so it gives him a chance to, well, very least, get into the top 10 and
Apparently that was there was a reason why he wasn't getting a lot of court time at some stage during the season. Apparently, Trevor Gleeson, he had trouble recognising him with his clothes on.
He doesn't mind. Hey, if you've got a rig like that, get it out there and show the world. And he's sexy and he knows it. Hey, it's that time of the show. We're going to get out there and have a bit of a fun with the 24-second shot challenge. We got our experts on here. And
who's shooting?
You're going to have a bit of a shot.
I'm not
We're all going to have a bit of a shot and go out there and see how we do. So here's how we went in the 24-second shot challenge.
Welcome to the 24-second shot challenge between the two oldies and the two youngies. All right?
Youngies, he's just retired, mate.
He's still younger than you, Andrew Gaze. All right?
Yep, fair enough.
The veterans against the current players. Here we go. Cairns Top Hands and the Adelaide 36ers, Granley Bernard and Andrew Gaze. Here we go.
Good way, nice. Oh, that's good.
2, 3, 4,
Mark, beautiful. How long?
5.
How long to go? Can I get a time update?
1, 2, 3, stop.
Stop.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Come on, coach. Come on, mate.
3, 2, 1, stop.
Drop 10. The young fellas have 16. The old guys are up now. Here we go. 1,
Come on, Wade.
2.
Come on, Wade. Go.
He's over the line. 3, 4,
Shoot.
5, 3,
Ball.
6,
Wade.
7.
Get up, get your ball.
Stop.
How many?
7. Go. Go. You need 10. 1, 2. 2.
What?
He's not gonna make it. He's not gonna make it embarrassed now. 3. 4. 5. 6.
3, 2,
7.
1, stop.
8. Granley, can I get you on this side, please?
There's a bit of protest.
Over here, please.
Mate, the ring.
Nothing wrong with the ring.
Mate, the
you
ring's
see why
big.
he retired?
Look
He
at
can't
the
shoot.
ring.
They
Greg,
can't
can
shoot
you get it
anymore.
on there what we had to do
They can't
exactly?
shoot anymore. Young fellas,
Tradesman never blames his
congratulations, guys. Congratulations. Well done.
I made more than you.
but only just.
You see why they can't win? You see why they can't win?
Unbelievable.
Here we go.
Mate, the ring's all skewy.
I would have made more if you had to give me better ball service.
Congratulations to the young guys. Back to the drawing board, you old guys.
Yeah.
All right, back to the studio.
Sign off. It
What's
goes
the
off.
sign off, coach?
I'm not doing it. You guys are doing it. Let's go.
It goes.
Oh.
Fantastic.
Well, there it is. Grantley Bernard, you were disappointing and weren't able to.
I can't believe how bad you were.
You were
If
really.
you had have given me a ball in rhythm once, I would have got 12.
Mate, you were.
Now you see what I've been dealing with for 15 years.
Doesn't play defense, doesn't pass the ball properly. Yeah.
Grantley.
Me.
I'm a team player. You were trying to block my shot, throw the balls in there, and I still managed to put in 8 and carry the load. But congratulations to you blokes. Very good effort. And still, this year, we might say that Darren Ning remains the winner at 16 in the 24-second shot
I'd
challenge.
say he would be the champion.
He is the champion and world record holder, if you don't mind, Grantley.
Get up.
Can I just say, before we finish, all right?
Yes?
I got 7.
No, you got 6.
I got 7. Wade Helliwell only got 6.
I got 8.
And is it any wonder they ran him out of Adelaide?
Yeah, I know. That's harsh.
Mate, I was just backing off. I didn't want to beat my boy. We won either way, mate. We won either way.
And good on Jamar. You were fantastic out there. And let's face it,
Jamar there?
he was there and he was the winner on the day, but the rings were a little bit skewy.
See, now you're making excuses for your bad
In
performance.
the warehouse at Spalding, lovely facilities they've got out here too at Spalding. They do a terrific job.
See, Jamar and Wade work together.
Hey, Grantley, it's that time of the show, and the boys have been waiting for it. It's the part of the show that the viewers out there really get up and about. And that is, of course, the Mark Zuckerberg Minute. And that's where we get your feedback off the social network pages. Andrew Gaze 10 is the Twitter. Grantley Bernard is the Twitter. Lanard Copeland. Big Daddy. No, he's not. Do you have Twitter? No Twitter. You can't get Lanard on the Twitter.
JDubs5.
JDubs5?
Yes.
JDubs5. You're pretty active on the Twitter?
Yeah.
Good boy. Wade, no Twitter. Well, Andrew Gaze and JDubs5.
You're obviously not following JDubs5.
I will now. I didn't know JDubs.
There for JDubs5.
I didn't know JDubs. By the end of the show,
You read his Twitter account to send you to sleep at night.
well,
He tucks me in.
that's just hilarious, mate. That's just comedy gold. Hey, also the NBL Facebook page is the most common way we receive some questions, and we've got some absolute beauties here. The panel's going to get involved. Kick us off, Grantley, with the first question.
Jason Simons wants to know, do New Zealand's chances of winning the finals go down much after Tom Abercrombie's ankle injury?
Ooh. Jamar, what do you think? Thomas Abercrombie had a great season. Last year, he was the MVP of the final series, so he's an important cog in the New Zealand machine.
Well, he is the first five, and he's obviously one of the core of the team, and he's been around for a while. He's had a good season, so without him, I think they'll be in trouble. But hopefully he could play and make the series more interesting.
Wait.
No, they're deep enough. They can cover him.
They can cover him?
Yep, they'll be fine.
Wow. How about that?
Cedric Jackson had a leg amputated just before the semis.
Just a bit extreme,
but somehow managed to get himself onto the floor. So
Coach,
let's just see how much this injury really is.
Tom,
Athletic guy in the entire league, so yeah, it could hurt him.
good question. Grantley, who's what next?
The next question is from James Morley. How much of a difference will the impact of the multiple time zones impact Perth and their chance to win? How much of an advantage is this to the Breakers? And how will the Wildcats adjust to playing at unusual times for them, as in 8 at night, but really
4 in the afternoon.
4 in the afternoon? And I guess you got to look at it the other way for the Breakers as well. They're in Perth, playing at 7 o'clock and it's like 3 a.m. or something. Coach just getting home.
It is one of those ones that could possibly have an impact, but I don't think when the teams will probably go over a day or two early, and there's a big break, Grantley, between game 1 on Thursday and game 2, which is a week later, on the Friday. So they'll get in early. I don't think the time zones will have any impact, but you blokes have been travelling over there throughout the course of the season. Do you think, Jamar, it's going to have any impact?
I think it's pretty tough, but at the end of the day, you're paid to play. You have to be a professional, so it's an impact for everyone. So you make the best.
Time zones a factor, Wade?
No big deal. They, both those teams are used to it. They've been doing it all year. Maybe if it was somebody else having to start doing that, maybe, but no factor.
Wouldn't have thought so. And Copes?
Grand final, nothing impacts. So it's all about winning.
Talk about the time factor, but what about the travel? That it is
a long way
from Auckland to Perth, Perth to Auckland. It's a long flight.
The day before, though, right?
A day or 2 days before.
2 days before, yeah.
Because you do have that big break in between. So I think you're right. You can have it, but I think with the finals, the emotion of it all, the excitement, I don't think it's going to be a factor. But good question.
It is a very good question. And our last question, we'll just get off the NBL track a smidge and we'll look ahead to the Olympics. Should Peter Crawford from the Townsville Crocodiles make the Boomers squad? That's from Lee Jeffries.
Well, he's going to make the squad. Whether he makes the actual team, I think, is going to be a challenge for him. It's hard probably for you guys to, or maybe Wade would be familiar with it, but most of our players now that are going to be representing Australia at the Olympics don't play here. So it may be a little hard to compare, but Jamar, you've seen PC firsthand this season. He's had an outstanding season, shot the ball amazingly well, was the main reason why his team got through to the final series this year. Do you see him as a boomer?
Well, I've played in Europe, and you see some of the best talent in the world, and he, to me, seems like an X factor. He's one of those guys that's a specialist. So it's kind of hard keeping him out, especially if he shoots the ball like that, because, he could basically keep teams in the game when he's on fire. So I think I don't know. I think he's pretty good.
Coach, do you like PC's chances?
PC, he's a veteran. Sometimes you need that veteran in the locker room to keep the guys focused. I put him on the team straight away.
Wait.
I think there's a spot there for a shooter. So if he sticks his hand up, has a good camp, he's been in the camps before. We've got a lot of good swingmen, but a lot of penetrators. So
There is no doubt PC is going to be in the mix.
We averaged 19.3 in the semi-final series, which is that says a fair bit.
Big time player, can hit big shots, and I think Jamar summed it up. You do need those. Those guys, say 9, 10, 11, 12, are not going to see it a lot of time, and you're going to carry a specialist in those positions. So that'll give him his best chance. I mean, at the end of the day, he's not going to be, if he does make the team, one of the prime movers, but could eventually get there. But 3 very good questions, and have we got a prize for you this week? Throughout the course of the season, we've been giving away an official Spalding Gave ball. Now, fellas, you can vouch to it. This is the official gear, isn't it?
that's it.
Geez, you're not too enthusiastic about it. What are we doing here? That's the official ball.
That's how we fly our
It's a beautiful one, and we're going to do that again this week, with the exception being with all the guests, the stars of the NBL who have come into the program and into the studios throughout the course of the season. They've all whacked their paw print on it, so some may think that they've actually devalued it, but I say added tremendous value. And the winner of our final show for this season, Grantley Bernard.
The winner of the Spalding official game ball. Spalding.
Terrific product.
Just for Copes. The question on the time zones and the travel, James Morley gets the ball.
Well, there it is, James Morley. You've not only picked up a game ball, but you've picked up one signed by all the superstars that are here today and the others we've had throughout the course of the season. Mark Worthington, a whole host of others. So great pickup for you. We'll be in contact probably via the Facebook or the Twitter, however we do it. I don't know how we do it, but it gets there. Hey,
Actually, when Copes is out on the road doing his sales calls, he might even just drop it in. He might drop it in personally.
I tell you what, Grantley Bernard is he's up and about, isn't he?
Copes might just drop that in personally.
That would be nice, but I don't know whether Copes goes throughout Australia. He does most of his work here in Victoria, but doing some great stuff, working for Russell and Spalding. Now, boys, before we go, we're getting to the end. It's been a long show, but a good one. We need to get your thoughts on the Grand Final Series. Best of 3 Grand Final Series. New Zealand Breakers with the home court advantage. Lanard, Copeland, let's start with you. Give us your tip and in a very quick summation, why?
Well, I'm picking New Zealand 2-1 because, like I said, I'm an offensive guy. They have the offensive weapons to win a championship. They got guards coming off the bench. They got guards who can shoot the ball, and they got veterans. So, New Zealand.
Jamar?
I'm saying New Zealand. No disrespect to both teams, but obviously I have to give my respect to them. They've been the most consistent this year. So when they're going, they're going. So I'll say New Zealand.
Wade?
Yep, New Zealand 2-1 split. They played a better team basketball, I think. Give it a
Grantley?
Well, like Copes is an offensive guy, you might know I'm a big guy. All right, I like bigs.
Oh, I thought you were referring to your waistline. But anyway.
Yeah, not my head.
No, definitely not.
I like Perth. I think their size, they got the inside game, they got the guards as well. I think they can probably shut down some of the New Zealand threats, and I think New Zealand is susceptible to dropping one at home. I think Perth will win it.
Well, they've only lost 2 at home all season, and one of them was just in that semi-final series. But I'm going to agree with you, Grantley. I think the Perth Wildcats, just because of the injury factor, Jackson ankle problems, leg problems, issues there, and Abercrombie in doubt. They've got a great home court advantage, but finals are a lot different. And proven performance, 26 seasons the Perth Wildcats have made the playoffs, which is a phenomenal record. And the New Zealand Breakers won it last season, Copes. But I just think the Wildcats can pinch one in New Zealand and get across the line. Well, there it is, fellas. We just need to say thank you for you guys for coming in. It's been a fantastic season. Lanard, you're a sensation, and you're part of the Spalding family here that do a terrific job as one of the major sponsors of the competition. And you're out there on the ground selling all those balls and doing those great things. So keep up the terrific work.
Thank you, Andrew.
And Jamar, congratulations on a fantastic season. Great to have a player of your quality in the competition, and we look forward to the next 2 seasons with the Cairns Taipans. Any whispers, just before we let you go, any whispers on what we can see? When you signed on the dotted line, I'm sure you wanted to know about what lied ahead for the Cairns Taipans. What little, can you drop any little hints or anything on what we can see with the Taipans?
All I can say is a lot of things in the works right now, and I'm not really in on that stuff, but it'll be exciting to the next 3 or 4 weeks. It'll be pretty exciting.
Can you do me a favor? Slap that snake when you go back.
well, let me leave it this way.
I don't like the snake. I slap him.
Let me leave you with this one. Given what you saw of the league this season and the way you contribute, what do you think the Taipans need to get to the next level?
I think we just need to stay healthy. Obviously, everyone knows we're a blue-collar team, so we try to steal games and try to grind things out. And it's not always beautiful to watch, but I think the past 2 seasons we've been getting it done, and if we could stay healthy and have everyone that buys into that mindset, we should be a pretty good team.
Well, again, congratulations on a fantastic season yourself, the Cairns Taipans, Aaron Fern, just a fantastic effort in what they've been able to put together up there in Cairns. Wade Helliwell, we have nothing but respect for your contribution in NBL over a long, long period of time. It's sad to see you go, big fella, but we wish you well in what lies ahead, and congratulations on an outstanding career. And in fact, what does lie ahead for Wade Helliwell?
I'm going to be relaxing, mate.
Just chilling?
Just take some time.
He's made enough money where he can just chill.
maybe get to do something with the hair and just become a...
Yeah, I don't know.
Sharpen that up. You like a little bit of the rust, the rough sort of... Chicks dig it. No, it's good. Grantley, fantastic work by you throughout the season. Terrific stuff, and well done. You come in here and we abuse you a little bit, but you give more than you take.
Yes, he does.
He does. But well done. It's been a pleasure hosting the show with you this season. For the last time in the 2011-2012 season, we must pay respect for those that have contributed to this wonderful competition. And it all starts with our naming rights sponsor, iNet.
Connect better.
Well done, boys. 1.
Centrebet.
Spalding.
And 1.
Fido. Woof. Woof woof. And Virgin Australia. Terrific work. If you've ever been on you haven't flown until you've flown Virgin Australia. Wow, they do some good job. Hey, it's been a fantastic season. It's been a pleasure week in, week out, coming and sitting with Grantley Bernard, talking about the greatest game in the world and the game we love.
I really wish I could say the same.
Oh, that's no good. We wish the New Zealand Breakers and the Perth Wildcats all the very best. It's going to be a fantastic series. Get out there and support your team, and good luck to both the coaches involved as well. Great stuff. We will be back next year, we hope, bigger and better, with the #1 podcast in the world for the iNet NBL. And it's called It Goes Off.